city I'm coming from, when the first automobile at 25 kilometers an hour came through, people said, oh, these are crazy, these people, they'll kill everybody. Okay. No, at the beginning, you fear new things, and then now you have racing cars at 400 kilometers an hour, and they don't kill each other. Now, the technologies of life have a lot of possibilities. Genetic engineering has aroused many reservations, in some countries more than in others. But the benefits that it can bring is fantastic. The benefits are countless. In agriculture, in food production, for above all, of course, in human health. Substances extracted from natural sources may be contaminated by compounds that present risks to health. Biotechnologies may permit to circumvent the problem. A synthetic vaccine is usually safer than a natural vaccine. The production of human growth hormone by genetic engineering gives a product which is devoid of the prion, which infects substances of natural origin and causes the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Numerous other cases can be found, for instance, this famous production of the factor VIII in blood for blood transfusion, which can be produced by biotechnology without having any risk for infection by HIV, the virus. One of the most fantastic developments, which is now just unwrapping, is the use of stem cells. Progress in stem cell research is absolutely fantastic, and about 3 years ago there has been a major step made by a Japanese scientist, Yamanaka, able to deprogram adult cells and reprogram them. We are all coming from one cell, after fertilization, one cell. And the fate of this cell, we begin to understand how this one cell can lead to what we are. And this cell, since it has been able to develop, this possibility to go back. And indeed, one can now take an adult cell, deprogram it to go back to a totipotent cell, a cell which can re-enter everything, and remake something. And in fact, in this case, from an adult cell of a mouse, this person was able to make a new mouse. Interesting. Which means that in the future, I can easily see regenerative medicine, which everybody talks about, to become more and more important, more and more powerful, and that we will very probably be able to generate spare organs. When you want to have a transplantation, you need another organ which is close to yours, if not, you reject it. And if you take one of our own cells, we'll be able to make a heart, for instance, that will be very close to our own heart, and that will not be rejected. So I think stem cell research is one of the major advances, and the progress there is absolutely of greatest importance for human beings. Now, in the historical perspective, if you look back at it, natural evolution has led to a being, man, that has progressively become able to change itself and to take charge of itself. And I think we'll be able to continue to do so. It will be only natural if man, the product of natural evolution, becomes able to replace random evolution by controlled evolution, just freeing itself from these chains of evolution. After all, man, modifying man, is contained in man. If we modify ourselves, it's because we have learned how to do it. Now, you will see at the end, as I said, a sort of a reflection on what should perhaps probably not happen, but we'll see. In fact, then the question is also, what is really a human being? What defines a human being? I am not going to tell you exactly what is, but just to mention one thing about a French writer called Vercors, not so well-known one, but he wrote a very interesting book, which I read when I was a teenager, and I think it's a book you should read when you are a teenager. Later on it's good too, but at that age it's very good to have it. It's called Les Animaux Dénaturés, the denatured animals. What does that mean? He was trying to define man, and after, I don't tell you what is in the book because it's quite nice the way it is brought about, but he said that after all, what is man? It's a being which is separated, ripped out of nature, and is outside and can look at it. In other words, it's an animal. We are all part of the animal kingdom, but we are out of it. We can look at it. And I think this really, in some ways, I like this definition, which involves thinking also. Thinking, consciousness. In this definition, you have everything. Just standing out and be able to say, oh, here we are. That's the universe. Here is string theory. Here is the way it has evolved. And I think this is a very nice definition of what mankind or what human beings are. Now, of course, chemistry especially problems, because everybody considers that when something stinks, when something is not agreeable, that's chemistry, as they say. We are all chemistry, and of course we react to what is around us, and indeed, when something stinks, it is a molecule which interacts with our receptors and makes us think it is stinking. And let me here make a joke. For instance, there are some French cheeses which are considered as terribly stinking. I really like them. So you see, appreciation of things is very different. There's also one other specialty from Sweden. They eat rotten herrings, rotten fish, fermented fish. This is stinking like hell. But they like it. I don't. So these are all acquired tastes. So in fact, chemistry just happens that people don't like that, and when something goes wrong, they say it's chemistry. Now there are, of course, terrible accidents, but that is not necessarily linked to chemistry. It's an accident. Bhopal is a horrible thing, what happened there. This was due to many factors, not enough control of the factory, probably, too many people living around it, no way to tell them, look, go away because something is happening. But it's like when a train crashes or a plane crashes. I mean, you don't say physics is wrong, but when a plane crashes, it's physics, yes? Gravitation. So I think these are accidents. It's that an accident is always terrible, but you cannot accuse a whole field to be at the start of it. In fact, I might even cite a work which has been published by Bruce Ames, a professor from Berkeley. Ames is famous for one thing, which is called, several things, but one of the things is the Ames test. The Ames test is a test which is used for evaluating the cancer generation, the carcinogenicity of chemicals. So they take mice and they put them on them and they see how these mice react. And so after having studied synthetic chemicals, what people say not natural chemicals, and having evaluated them, Bruce Ames once said, okay, let's look at natural ones and look at, for instance, in food, what are the pesticides in the food and where do they come from? And the title of his article is quite nice, interesting. Dietary pesticides, 99.99% all natural. The pesticides in our plants are all of natural origin. Why? Because plants don't want to be eaten. So they have evolution generated things which prevent, it doesn't work too well, but try to prevent to be eaten. And so I think natural products can be as toxic, sometimes even more toxic than synthetic ones. Now, of course, chemistry plays also a very central role in society, in science. It is between physics and biology, and it is, of course, also very high economic importance, as we know that, for instance, from the role played by a company like Reliance, how important chemistry is in our everyday life. But of course, it is present everywhere. It tends to be forgotten. Only it is not forgotten when things go wrong. When things go well, it is forgotten. It's like one of my friends said, in the newspaper you said that this little old lady was hit by a car when crossing the street. But they never speak about then the thousands and thousands of little old ladies crossing the street without being hit by a car.